Welcome back to the PvP Live Studios. I'm Tanner Grace. I'm joined by Nathan, that's Admirable Zamore, and we just saw Jab take a 2-0 lead in his match here. He's at match point. Muzzy needs to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, not the kind of position you want to be in. We've seen people pick up these reverse sweeps so far. Green Sheep almost did it for a second time in his match. He's the only player to have a reverse sweep right now. But Muzzy, man, backs against the wall. And you talk about someone who's been coming out firing, it is Jab. His opening hand was a disaster in the second game. But one draw of an innervate allowed him to, kind of get back on the board and make sure something was happening. He kept Harrison Jones' opening hand, never even used it against the Warrior deck.
Yeah, didn't even need it against the Warrior deck. Muzzy's hand, let's talk about that one a little bit too. It never really came together. He never got to really apply a ton of pressure against Jab. And then he had that turn where he kind of, moved in with his Grim Patron against the Dr. Boom. And he got a little unlucky from the Boom bots. It definitely could have gone a little more his way. There were definitely some juggles of the Boom bots there that could have been really, really good. And so we're going to have to see how he adjusts now, being down 0-2 to Jab. So we're going into game 3, Jab versus Muzzy.
Yeah, match point here for Jab. So, he's just sticking with Druid. He says,
I was going to say, he's going to queue up Druid again.
Good enough. But Muzzy finally making what I would consider a very strong adjustment to what Jab's been doing at this point. Aggressive Warlock strategies can perform extremely well versus something like Druid. You get an early Flame Up on board and then couple that with a couple more cards. If they don't have an early Keeper of the Grove, they find themselves falling out of favor. And with Harrison Jones' opening hand, there's no use of that coming into this match. But Muzzy's hand not too terribly exciting right now. He does pick up a Nerubian Egg, and I think that helps because he's got 2 copies of Defender of Argus, but still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of work to do, and Jab picks up a Swipe, which is going to be pretty good this game. Now, he has a Wild Growth and a Wrath, which are going to help him control this board pretty early. Muzzy's going to come out pretty aggressive, but he's going to be able to take care of this this Flame Whip here this turn, and it's going to, help keep him a little high in life total here because he's going to take 3 here, but he's not going to take 6.
Yeah, I mean, something like Keeper of the Grove would just be an absolutely fantastic draw. Or even something like Innervate would be a fantastic draw to make sure you can play Dr. Boom on turn 5. That's an okay one.
Yeah, is Dr. Boom on turn 5 good?
It's okay.
And your opponent's turn 3? Is
all right.
Is that good?
Wow, he's actually going to draw a card here. So something he's valuing instead is, look at how he's leveraging his life total in a situation like this. He was free to kill this Flame Imp and then, keep his life total padded. He's like, you know what? This is one of the stages in the game where I can utilize my life total to make sure I get that edge. This is an example of players, really kind of fighting for every single edge they can get. He believes that when Muzzy goes turn 2 Nerubian Egg, that he doesn't have a ton of pressure to put behind this.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Muzzy has a hard choice this turn if he wants to use the coin or not. He's going to use this Defender of Argus to get some pressure going, but he doesn't have a ton of really good follow-ups. Next turn, he has another Defender of Argus, but you're going to see Jab throw out this Dr. Boom as quickly as his turn can start.
Yeah, I mean, a massive turn 4 here from Jab, by the way. He's got 5 mana, but he had Wild Growth again this game, and something that is always a disaster to face down is Dr. Boom in a situation like this. Not only that, but the Boom bots actually add an interesting kind of pressure here. Obviously Muzzy would love for the Boom bots to hit his Nerubian Egg, but something he has to consider is how he tackles this 7/7 moving forward. If he invests too much damage into that, that's working in Jab's favor at that point. He wants all of his minions to effectively have taunt this scenario. So unless Muzzy has something like Power Overwhelming, the attacks don't look very, very appealing.
Yeah, I can't even figure out a great attack for Muzzy here. None of them seem super appealing. I mean, he can attack Jab's face here and deal 3 damage to him, but that's not really getting him anywhere. He doesn't have a lot of ways to finish this game out quickly. He has some abusive Sergeant tricks he can do depending on how good this Implosion is. You know what? He gets the full value, and that's pretty good. This abusive Sergeant, if he could have cast it this turn, would have been great, but he's going to get well played.
Jab just drops the well played in there. He does have the option now to kill the Dr. Boom, but the problem with that is that now he's invested so much in this board position. How does Swipe affect that board moving forward?
Yeah, this Swipe is going to be great.
I have to believe you want to kill this Dr. Boom, but now again, Swipe is going to get a ton of value in this position, but there are options opened up now. Something like Emperor Thorson could be played, but he wants to make sure he's got strict control of this board and then have his minions power through moving forward in this game.
Yeah, that Swipe is so hard to pass up. It's even drawing Emperor Thorson on turn 6. That's like the best draw in his deck, or one of the better draws in his deck on this turn. You still, I think, just have to swipe here and take your great turn while you can.
Yeah. So now, I mean, speaking of great turns here, Bane of Doom can always be very scary in this position. He's going to go with Lothep here. He just wants to get the damage rolling. This also will help check future threats that maybe Jab's playing. If he played something like Druid of the Claw, he's going to need to be able to push through that. But that Bane of Doom, if that summons a minion that Jab can't easily deal with, that could very easily end the game.
Yeah, and Jab has a couple of good options for him here this turn. He can Shade of Noxramas and Pilot a Shredder and get some damage in with these boom bots. Or he could play Harrison Jones to check this Lothep. I think he's gonna see what his
Oh, that's not a very good boom bot, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you know, he has a couple of options. I like attacking the Lothep here first because it's going to put 4 damage on it, so it just gets checked by a Pilot of Shredder. Plus, if he wants to, he can still run the boom bot into it again and try to get lucky there and, you know, use his hero power in a couple ways. But he's going to actually play an Emperor here.
Yeah, I like the Emperor in this position. You know, he didn't get a favorable drop on the first boom bot, so just, you know, go with your initial plan here, which was just get Emperor on the board, force your opponent in an uncomfortable position. I mean, I can tell you Muzzy does not want to leave this Emperor up, but he also has to get pressure rolling. So everything kind of working against his overall game plan right now. Jab has done a great job at stifling this early aggression, and it's all on the back of an explosive opening. Turn 2 Wild Growth and turn 4 Dr. Boom.
Yeah, it's really hard to beat turn 4 Dr. Boom, but Muzzy has stabilized after it. And we talked about Jab, but what is it? He turned 3 to Dr. Boom in a game earlier.
It was against Super JJ. He did the exact same thing. He went turn 4, or turn 2 Wild Growth, and then turn 4 Innervate Dr. Boom. So Bane of Doom here. Floating Watcher, it's going to get bigger now because of that boom bot.
Wow, that was pretty fortunate for Muzzy there, and he gets to protect it here as well.
Oh
that is
my
going
gosh.
to get out of...
This could be disaster for Jab. I mean, you talk about a complete swing of events. Muzzy got a 6/6 off of this 5-mana card and killed the Boombot, and Jab has no way to take care of it this turn.
Yeah, and every single time that he uses his hero power during his turn, it's going to get bigger as well.
Wow, I mean, he's got to do something to start answering this board position. It looks like here it's just going to be Pilot Shredder and Lotheb, but now Muzzy, he's the one with initiative in this position. He can start molding his attacks how he sees fit, and I have to believe he's looking at this Floating Watcher going to the Dome. You know, one of the fights you don't want to be fighting against Druid is trying to go card for card for them in the minion fight. You do have Warlock hero power, but each time that the board gets cleared and you're lower on life total, that puts you at risk of something like Force of Nature Savage Roar. He's got to find a way to actually end this game.
Yeah, and one way that he might look to actually end this game is to make his Floating Watcher an 8/8, attack for 8, protect it with Voidwalker, maybe, you know, drawing a card, see when he draws. After that, you have another Voidwalker, another Defender of Argus, and then the next turn you have a Power Overwhelming and an Abusive Sergeant, and that might be enough damage to push through this win over the next 2 turns.
Yeah, I mean, I have to believe he's looking for life tap right now. I mean, that's such a powerful swing he's gotten off this Bane of Doom. Implosion can add more pressure to the board as well. But it looks to me, wow, he's actually going to favor trading here, so wants to hedge his bets versus something like Big Game Hunter.
Yeah, he gets a hedges bet against Big Game Hunter, but this actually puts it in Wrath and Swipe range now as well. So you're actually running into some other cards that are pretty good against you in this spot too.
Yeah, I'm going to trade out that now and just play Defender of Argus and try to protect it. Jab can still utilize his life total position like this, and Savage Roar might also take away the fact that he has to leverage his life total. So a couple interesting options here from Jab on how to handle this situation. Once again, the fact that Muzzy can't get the pressure rolling is in favor of Jab.
Yeah, he's going to need the Savage Roar, trade up here, and then use the Savage Roar to attack his minion. This is a great draw here from Jab. He's just regaining control of this board. Every time Muzzy does anything to get ahead in this game, Jab just counters back.
Yeah, and then once again, he has the pressure on board. So Muzzy, you know, very slight initiative, but no favorable situations here. Mal'Ganis could potentially turn that around, though. I mean, you couple Implosion with a Mal'Ganis coming on turn 9, you're looking at a lot of potential damage.
Yeah, these can be some very, very huge imps, and this Voidwalker is going to be very, very big this turn, too. Ooh, a Direwolf off. That is not a terrible draw in this spot either. It's going to let him put through some extra pressure here.
Gets a 2 this time, so not working out in his favor in this game, but, you know, I expect this Defender of Argus to pick off this Harrison Jones. Voidcaller, if Voidcaller, you know, say Jab doesn't want to unleash his Shade this turn, this could be a very big difference in the game. If he doesn't check that Voidcaller, Mal'Ganis suddenly does a lot of work.
Mal'Ganis is going to certainly do a lot of work. Jab's going to draw 2 cards off his Ancient Lore here. Doesn't have any extra action, but he gets to pick off one of these imps, which is actually very good for him.
Heads up play here from Jab too, recognizing that in a situation like this, he can't afford to let his Shade try to grow out of proportion. He needs to keep very strict control, and he's been going card for card at this point, and Muzzy's getting low, so he has to be able to, you know, force Muzzy into a position where he's not excited to make these kinds of trades. And looking at Muzzy's hand, I mean, I have to believe that he's going to kill one minion or the other because he has to protect this Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, the Mal'Ganis gets to technically protect itself there by pumping the minion.
Oh!
And a Big Game Hunter drawn from Jab. These Big Game Hunters these last 2
time
games.
that has happened, that is going to completely shut out this game.
That's
Jab has got more than enough damage to put Muzzy at such a dangerous life total. I don't think there's a single card in his deck that can save him from this board position.
And you talked about it before the match. We really expected this match to either go the full 5 or someone to sweep the other person, because we felt like someone was going to get the better end of the queues in this matchup for sure. And in this matchup of teammates, it looks like Jab is going to pull through on the win. 3-0.
Yeah, 3 straight with Druid as well. I mean, we talked about how well he performed with Druid over the course of his professional career, but now that total's growing even bigger. 3-0 with Druid in this series. That is an unbelievable performance. And Big Game Hunter really spelling a major difference in this game.
Jab kind of messing with his teammate here a little bit.
Padding the stats a little bit, That's kind of what Druid does here, using the full 10 mana on this turn as well. Excellent stuff from Jab in this game. And wow, once again, Big Game Hunter. I mean, Destiny was on Jab's side in this series.
Both of those top decks of Big Game Hunter were just absolutely devastating for Muzzy's chances to win the game and to win this match. And you know what? Jab came through with the win.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do when your opponent can spend 3 mana, get a 4/2, and blow up your biggest threat on board? That's the power that that card illustrates. I mean, when you find people in situations when you're having to go this long game, that's a very important card, key to those strategies and making sure that you can keep things under control and maintain initiative in the game.
And like we said before the match, Jab stuck to his guns. He kept playing a mid-range deck. He queued up Druid 3 straight times, understood his matchups, played very well, made a couple of interesting plays that we're going to talk to him about in a couple minutes. We're going to ask him about and see what his mindset was before that. So we're going to have an interview with Jab when we come back from this commercial in just a minute.
Yeah, you can head over to pvplive.net, check out exactly how well Jab has done with Druid in the past, see everything that's going on. I believe now he's up to 7-1 in professional play with Druid. Don't take my word for it, though. Go check for yourself and see exactly what's going on. Guys, when we come back, that interview with Jab, get some insights in his strategy and exactly how he wanted to tackle this match versus his teammate who knows him inside and out. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.